Another day here of Seattle Seahawks OTA practice is officially in the books, and today was a very interesting practice. Not only did we have the first day that the media was allowed to come and record some practice, but also we have some brand new highlights, news, notes, and observations from another day here of practice. So before we jump into the video and break it down, some of the things to watch out for over the next few days and what we learned today, make sure you guys do me a favor and comment down below who you think is going to contribute most on this team as a rookie. Who do you think is going to stand out the most over the first few weeks here of OTAs and mandatory minicamp, training camp? Is it a Christian Haynes? Is it a guy like Tyrese Knight? Is it a guy like Byron Murphy? Even Nehemiah Pritchett or DJ James are two guys I really like as well. Let me know what you guys think down below. But with that being said, let's kind of jump into what we've seen so far. Now, the first thing to take note of is the brand new atmosphere, right? I mean, Pete Carroll, unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, depending on how you view it, is gone, right? Bringing in some fresh new faces at multiple different spots, including head coach, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. It's basically brand new here. Now, Mike Macdonald is a guy who, let's just talk about it. Mike Macdonald is a beast. He is such a good defensive-minded coach, has led the Ravens to two back-to-back top defenses in the NFL, and I think he is going to come in here and pretty much change everything from the jump. We're already starting to see him implement his own type of style to coaching. He connects well with a lot of the players as well. So it's basically a brand new system that they have to learn. So things are going to start off a little bit slower compared to some other teams like the Chiefs, who already have their system down in pat and only have to keep ironing out some things. But this is a brand new system. These guys have to learn a brand new playbook. But the one thing I love about this is I believe the secondary next season will be one of the best in the NFL because of Mike Macdonald and what he has proven throughout his career so far. Not only do you get a healthy defense in Devon Witherspoon and Rick Woolen and Julian Love, bringing in Rayshawn Jenkins, you bring in a Kayvon Wallace, you still have Michael Jackson, Trey Brown, but add two cornerbacks in the draft that I thought went highly underrated or were highly underrated. Nehemiah Pritchett and DJ James from Auburn. I think those two guys have a ton of talent, and if Auburn as a team had a better year, I believe those guys go in the third or fourth round as cornerbacks. I'm just being honest with you, right? Now, you look at guys like Carlton Davis and a guy like Jamal Dean, two cornerbacks who have won a Super Bowl over in Tampa Bay. Both went to Auburn, both played really good ball at Auburn. Auburn breeds cornerbacks, okay? And I think Mike Macdonald kind of knew that coming in. I thought those were great pickups. You also have a guy, Derek Hall, another former Auburn player. I see what these guys are trying to do here in Seattle. But overall, man, you look at what Seattle's done and you look at what they're doing, it's going to be a very fun OTA mandatory minicamp training camp session. The reason being, it's an open battle in a bunch of different positions. Mainly because since you have a new staff, they don't owe these players anything unless they just drafted you, right? So Byron Murphy, I think, is going to get a lot of early looks when he can, and I think Christian Haynes is going to be a guy who is going to give or get a lot of opportunities. But you look at the quarterback position, man, and Mike Macdonald said one thing from the jump: I'm not going to name anyone the starting quarterback. I want this to be a battle because, quite frankly, he's not the one that brought Geno Smith in. He brought Sam Howell in here. So, listen, there's going to be an open battle. Geno Smith may be your starter come regular season time, but who knows? Maybe Sam Howell outperforms him in OTAs, in mandatory minicamp, in training camp. These things are going to matter big time when it comes to the starting lineup here for the Seahawks. Now, before we jump any further into the video, do me a big favor, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, join the family, turn on post notifications. It's free, it doesn't cost anything, and we will be covering the Seahawks throughout the entirety of the offseason, OTAs, mandatory minicamp, everything. Got you guys covered, so make sure you guys join the family. And with that being said, let's jump right back into the video. Now, I'm interested, I'm curious to see who's going to take an early lead in the battles for, the center and both guard spots. When you look at the lineup right now, you've got guys like Laken Tomlinson, you've got guys like Olu, Christian Haynes, but then Anthony Bradford, a former fourth-round pick of last season, Nick Harris, who came over from Cleveland. You got a bunch of guys here just trying to work, trying to compete, and that's what makes OTAs and training camp so special. The battles, the competition, because every single one of these guys knows right now they're not going to be given, they're not going to be handed their spot, which means they have to come out here and compete every single day, and that makes your team better overall. So that's one of the biggest things I'm going to continue to look out for over the next few weeks here as we lead into the rest of camp. But that's definitely a good one. Obviously losing some big time starters in Damian Lewis, Evan Brown, and also Phil Haynes as well. So they got some spots to fill, right? So we'll see what happens with that. Byron Murphy, right? He's added to the mix. What is the defensive line rotation going to look like early? When you talk about their D-line, you got Jaron Reed, you got Leonard Williams, you got a guy like Draymond Jones, Boye Mafe, and now Byron Murphy. I don't think he's going to step up, be a day one starter right away unless he can earn it, right? Now, obviously, he's probably going to play one of those defensive end roles in this 3-4 type of defense with Boye Mafe, and Uchenna Nwosu coming off the edges. I think they're going to play more interior. Obviously, that's where he fits. But do you think he's going to be a day one starter, or do you think he's going to be a rotational piece? And again, we won't really know these answers and be able to see who's really standing out until the pads come on, until there's contact. Though that will be soon, but not yet. So yes, there's some good first impressions by some of these guys, but I really need to see what it looks like when the pads are on, when we're getting some contact, when we're seeing how he looks in that 3 technique versus some O-line on the other side with some contact. I want to see how that works in his system. And obviously, who's going to step up and replace the linebacker core, right? Bobby Wagner, Jordan Brooks are now gone. You add a guy like Jerome Baker, who I think is such a good middle linebacker, such a good plug-and-play guy here, and I think he'll be here for a while. But you also have guys like Terrell Dodson and Tyrese Knight, who they added in the 4th round, Drake Thomas, right? So I do think they have some really good guys, some good competition. Again, you look at the defense in general and pretty much the entirety of the team, there's going to be competitions in so many different spots, right? The DB room, the linebacker room, the front 4 in terms of the edge rushers and the interior linemen. I mean, dude, it's gonna be so fun this year in Seattle. Not only because the potential of what they have brought in from Mike McDonald, but also just a competition standpoint, man. And then you have some undrafted rookies trying to fight for a job in the NFL. Man, this is gonna be extremely fun. So I'm going to continue to monitor this. And again, I'm sorry, I don't have too much information for you guys because, again, they're getting into it, right? They're getting into the playbook. They're getting into what they need to do, some little work, but as we start to ramp up, I will be covering more and more of this for you guys. Join the family. Who do you think is going to be the day one starter at the quarterback position? I think the only quarterbacks on roster are Geno Smith and Sam Howell, which is interesting. There might be a UDFA in here somewhere. Comment down below if there is and who he is. I don't see him listed on the actual depth chart right now, so I'm very curious to see if there's another one on roster. And then I'm curious to see who the kick returner is going to be. You have Laviska Shenault, you have Dwayne Eskridge. One of those guys got to make a big step up there for that as well with the new kickoff return. I'm just overall excited to continue to go over the next few weeks, and tomorrow we should have some more footage, some more news and notes for you guys. Join the family, hit the like button, and I'll see you guys in part 2